Hi guys, this is Rose from Little Miss Rose and welcome to my February 2019 plan with me. This month I decided to stay away from the traditional February themes of love and Valentine's etc. and decided to go with the boho, moon and flowers theme because it's Chinese New Year this month, which follows the lunar calendar, and I think it follows on nicely from my stars from last month. I also wanted to use my silver Calero pearl colour watercolour paints this month as well. This month I've also chosen to use some new gouache paint that I got for Christmas. I received the Winsor Newton primary colour set and I've been playing around with these. Here you can see that I'm using them a lot like watercolour paints. If you mix in a lot of water with the paint you get a watercolour effect. I actually didn't really like the look of it here, so for the rest of my monthly setup I've used less water to make the paint a bit more opaque. At the top of the page I've got a love related quote which I just found on Pinterest. Love me like the moon intended, all the way through the darkness. This is my small ode to February and Valentine's Day. So now I'm using my silver Calero pearl colour watercolour paints. It's not quite as bright and vibrant as the gold that I've been using, but it still has a lovely shimmer to it. I'm using a brush pen that I bought from Dazo. It's just a generic pen, only cost a few dollars. When I tested it out beforehand I actually really liked it, but after doing this heading I'm not so fussed on it. The tip is quite soft so it's a bit hard to control. Later on I've just switched to a Kelly Creates brush pen in size medium. So now I'm using a size 0.1 Kelly Creates fine liner to add detail and outlines to my drawing. So as you'll soon see, I haven't quite shied away totally from the Valentine's theme. There's still a lot of pink throughout my pages and I've included another love quote as well. For my next two pages are my dinner tracker and my spending tracker. My dinner tracker, I simply list the days of the week down the side and track what we have for dinner. I quite often refer back to this spread in past months to look at what we've cooked for dinner for the family. I almost always discover something that I haven't made in a while that I had totally forgotten about. And because one of my life's pet peeves is deciding what to cook for dinner, it's just endless and annoying. This keeps it from being too much of a struggle to decide what's for dinner. And then on the next page is my spending tracker, where I'll keep track of what I've spent and whether it was personal or blog related. The spending tracker actually really helps me curb my spending. If I know that I have to write it down in my bullet journal, I tend to not buy that coffee and make a coffee at work, or not buy lunch and bring lunch to work. If you haven't done a spending tracker before, it can actually be quite shocking to see what you actually spend your money on at the end of the month. So you can see on this page I haven't actually drawn any flowers, I've just put jewels and beads hanging off my moon shapes. I haven't done flowers because I'm not actually that good at them. It actually takes me a long time to draw them out, and I always have to refer to pictures on Pinterest or Google, and I always draft them up in pencil first. So just because you see these fabulous spreads on Instagram or whatever, it doesn't mean that everyone's an artist. Lots of people have to try, like me. So just fake it till you make it. So over the page are my weight and exercise trackers. These are just like my previous months. where I'll record my weight daily in the weight tracker if I remember to weigh myself in the morning. And I also use a traffic light system along the bottom to record how well I've eaten, whether I've drunk enough water or exercised during the day. So if I haven't exercised during the day, I put a little red icon underneath that day in my weight tracker. My exercise tracker is just like last month's. It has room for a key underneath where I'll colour code my workouts and use these colours to fill in the squares when I've exercised. You can see the boxes correspond to the days of the month in February. Again, there are no florals on this page because it's just too time consuming sometimes for me. You can also see that the paint I've used is a lot more opaque than on my cover page because I've used less water mixed in with the paint. I actually love this effect. So at the bottom of the page I've got a motivational quote. Slow progress is better than no progress. So over the page are two new spreads for me this month. The first is a sales log. I have an Etsy store where I sell stickers and printables, so go check it out if you haven't already. It's called Rose K Paper Co. And if you haven't set up February yet, I also have a February printable bundle to help you set up for this month. So on this page I'm just going to note down my sales, the description, whether it needs to be mailed, and how much revenue I'm going to receive from each sale. On the next page is going to be a list of books that I've been recommended. I've had lots of recommendations recently and I just need a place where I can keep track of them all until I get round to reading them. I'll be adding this page to my index later on so I can find it easily later. Have you noticed the yellow flower that's just next to my notebook? My little boy picked that for me from the garden today. So sweet. Okay, so you may be asking, where is my monthly log? Well, while I was drafting up my pages in pencil, I totally forgot, and rather than doing it all over again, I decided to just stick it in the next page available. So here it is. It makes no difference really. That's what's so great about the bullet journal system. So here I've decided to stick to a one-page calendar because I didn't use all of the space in my double-page calendar last month. The squares for my calendar are 4x4 and I've positioned this calendar right at the bottom of the page so I can add a large header and a bit of a design at the top of the page. This time round I've drawn lotus flowers with my crescent moon. Again, I had to look this up on Pinterest so that I could have a reference picture to draw. So while I'm waiting for my silver paint to dry, the pink stripe across the middle of the page will be for the days of the week. I probably should have painted this first before the lettering. It would have made it easier, but oh well. Now that the paint is dry, I can go in with my fine liner and add the details. I'm using the 0.03 Kelly Creates fine liner pen. I'm just colouring the extra boxes with a light coat of paint. Then I'll add the days and the days at the week along the top. And that is my monthly log. I've also added a self-love quote on the opposite page, which I may or may not add some colour or illustration to later. So now for my first weekly spread. It's just a simple double page spread. I've sectioned both pages into 4 boxes. All boxes are 9 squares high with a strip in between. The very first square on the left hand page is for my heading and another moon design. The rest of the squares are for the days of the week. I've alternated the side of the page where I put the date heading just to give the pages some interest, and boxing in my squares with the fine liner. And that's it for my simple weekly spread. And that's my setup for February. I actually quite miss my January theme. I miss the gold stars and the gold paint, but I think I can grow to like this one. So tell me what you think of this theme in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please remember to give it a big thumbs up, and remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, if you have any suggestions for me for a March theme, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment down below as well. And also, remember to check me out on Instagram, Little Miss Rose, and also visit me over on the blog. That's littlemissrose.com. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye!